You are feeling numb because you're postponing your life. This is something fairly recent that I've realized, and it seems to be very common with us as human beings in general. We have a tendency to postpone not only how we feel, but we postpone our enjoyment of life because we tell ourselves we need to get to a certain state, a certain marker, a certain achievement before we can enjoy our life. So the interesting thing about this is I started recognizing it first in people who complained a lot about feeling empty or sort of emotionless or had a hard time accessing their emotions. They all talked about feeling this kind of emptiness. And so just from the questions that I've asked them, they all had that in common. This feeling that, I'll feel better when this happens, or I'll smile and be happy when this happens, or I can't cry right now because I'm too busy with work, with family, I can't grieve right now, I can't cry right now. It's understandable to feel that way. The complication becomes once you start to postpone feeling something or experiencing something or processing something, it has nowhere to go. So it constantly builds up and builds up and builds up in your system until you have this incredible backlog of things that you've never allowed yourself to feel or process. So your body at some point, and even your mind, gets to the point where it's so overwhelmed by all of this stuff that it can't let out anything. And not only can it not let out anything, it can't allow itself to take anything else on. So that's when we start getting flat in terms of emotions. We can't allow ourselves to feel anything because we're afraid that if we allow ourselves to feel this thing that's happening right now, our response is going to be so over the top emotionally because there are 20 other things stacked up behind and beneath that we've never experienced. And that's why we get this feeling like, I can't deal with this. I can't let any of this out because it will overwhelm me. It will overwhelm me to the point where I'll either never stop crying, or I'll be so angry that I'll hurt somebody or hurt myself, those kinds of things. So it's a difficult situation to be in, to have that kind of backlog, but it is common. I want you to realize that it's common and that there are so many people who are struggling with this, especially right now, because life is just moving faster and faster and it's feeling more and more overwhelming. And the best thing that we can do in these situations is first understand that that's what we're doing. That when we feel sad or we feel angry or we feel overwhelmed and we're not letting ourselves feel sad or angry or overwhelmed in that moment, we're not allowing ourselves to sit with it, to process it, to, call a counselor and speak about it, we're deferring it. We're pushing it away. It's staying in our system and it's going to come back up over and over again as probably, you know, something little is going to set it off, and it's going to feel really big when it comes out. So it's important to know that, to be aware that that's what's happening, that you have a tendency to push things aside in the name of trying to manage your life right now. It doesn't work that way. It's common to do it, but I'm telling you right now, it does not work that way. And that stuff will come up bigger and uglier every time you push it down. So it's not depression. It's not burnout. It's not any of these things that people call it. It's this sort of belief that we have to earn not only a living, and we have to earn our relationships, and we have to earn our place in the world, but that we have to earn peace and relaxation. And this is the crazy part of this programming that we have in our minds, is that we feel like we should just put all these things aside because they're not important. And the only thing that's important is getting up and going to work and, you know, taking care of everybody else instead of taking care of ourselves. That's why we're in this situation. That's why everybody's in the state that they're in right now. And we have to allow ourselves to take time every day to rebuild trust with ourselves, because there's part of us that does not trust us because we have pushed it away too many times. We have ignored it too many times. We've stuffed how we felt too many times. We are at a critical point right now where we have to start taking the time every day to sit down and let ourselves feel how we're feeling. We have to acknowledge how we're feeling, whether we write it down or say it out loud, and we have to allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling. You have to allow yourself to cry. You have to allow yourself to be angry. You have to allow these things to start to come out, and you have to give yourself the time and compassion that you need to get through them so that you can rebuild trust with yourself and start to eventually be able to deal with things on a daily basis without having this backlog of emotions that just want you to be happy, to be peaceful, and to be free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.